All right, folks, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. In this one, I want to talk to you about why your morning routine is probably costing you a lot of money and probably costing you a lot more money than you realize, okay? In this online business space that a lot of the people that watch my channel play in, there's a lot of advice about how you should start your day. And all of these things that you're told you need to do in order to make sure that you're maximizing your time and that you're not getting the day off to the wrong start, or you're going to fuck everything up if you don't do these 18 things before you start your day. And for me, I've always struggled with it. I've always really struggled to nail the perfect morning routine, if I'm 100% honest. And I had a recent realization, and it's been very, very liberating for me. It was in the back half of 2021, and I wanted to share that with you because it's probably something that a fair chunk of you can relate to, and hopefully me talking about this will steer you in the right direction in terms of your morning routine. And when you, I guess, embrace this approach, I think it's going to help you make a lot more money too, which is a nice benefit. Before we jump into this one, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Give the video a like if you get any value from this one. Let me know in the comments, what is your current morning routine? What is the first thing that you do when you wake up? Drop that below, I'd be interested to hear. And if you aren't already, be sure to join our private community. That's going to be the first link in the description. I'm really active over there. You can hear from me most days. We're talking all things information marketing, building an information business to that 50,000 plus per month mark, and really doing it on your terms so that you can build the calendar and the schedule that you want while making good money doing it. So if you want to check that out, first link in the description. Okay, so let's jump into this one. So as I alluded to off the start, there's all of this noise, I guess, in the market, especially from the personal development side, right? It's less from the business world and more from the personal development world. And they're like, if you want to make the most of the day, you've got to wake up and you've got to meditate and you've got to pray and you've got to listen to these 16 audio books, and you've got to write in your diary, and you've got to do 20 minutes of gratitude thinking or whatever it is, and you've got to do this and this and this. And look, for some people that may work, but what I found was whenever I tried to, I guess, engineer this morning routine based on what experts were telling me to do, was I'd just wake up and feel anxious about wanting to check on everything, right? And that doesn't mean, that there was crazy shit that I had to deal with. I just have always been the type of person that when it's a working day, I just want to get up and get the fuck into the work and get it done. For the longest time in corporate, and it served me really well because I was successful in my corporate career, I'd just wake up, I'd get my coffee, and I'd get into the office and get on with it, right? And when I moved over to the online business space and consuming more and more in the personal development world, I was kind of led to believe, and I felt like that was wrong. Like, waking up, getting your coffee and getting into it was, so suboptimal that I was missing out on all of these amazing things. And so I went down, several rabbit holes and tried all these different things, and, tried going for a walk first up, and tried sitting out on the balcony and reading first thing in the morning, or, tried listening to some calming stuff, and like all the different bits and pieces. Not so much journaling or prayer, because I'm not religious, but tried a lot of different things. And I always just found that what I wanted to do when I woke up on a weekday, and sometimes on the weekend too, depending on what's going on, was I just wanted to get into work, and I just wanted to get started, right? And I just wanted to check on things and see what had happened overnight, especially because I'm in Australia, and we sell a lot into the international market, and a lot of stuff happens overnight, right? A lot of stuff goes down during the hours that I'm asleep. And so I want to check on stuff and see what's been going on, and see how sales are performing, and see if there's any problems that we need to deal with, and all that kind of stuff. But I just felt like that was wrong because of all of this shit that I was being told I needed to do before I could even think about starting my day. And it seems simple and it seems stupid, but I kind of got to a point where I was like, well, why do I have to do all that stuff? If I want to get up and grab my coffee and get into it and get done what I want to get done, why can't I do that, right? Sounds simple, sounds stupid. But since I had that basic epiphany that I didn't have to do all this stuff, and I busted that assumption that, what all these experts are telling you is what you've got to do, way more productive, way happier, really enjoy the mornings. What I've started now experimenting with is, okay, well, after that initial hour and I'll talk to you a little bit about what I get done in that hour, then getting into some exercise and doing other bits and pieces. And we'll see. Maybe that will work, maybe it won't. I'm experimenting with that at the moment. But having this first hour of clear work with my coffee in the morning to get a bunch of stuff done has been awesome, right? It's really productive time. I put out any fires that I need to put out. There's not usually, the business runs pretty smoothly at this point. But sometimes stuff pops up, deal with anything I need to deal with. And usually what I spend the majority of that initial part of the day doing is creating my core piece of written content for the day. Since starting my kind of personal brand in 2018, the core thing for me that has driven the business forward is writing anywhere from 200 to 500, 600 words of content a day. And that goes out to my email list and it goes into my Facebook group. And I really like getting that done early in the day because then it's not hanging over my head. I feel like I've got really good kind of creative flow early in the day and I get it out and it's done. And then, I can get off Facebook and, I can just dive into what I need to do that day, do the calls I need to do, all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what I do in that first hour in particular. And it may end up being that, that what's currently the first hour of the day ends up being the first 3 hours of the day or whatever. But I'm currently experimenting with what I do after that first hour. But yeah, put out any fires, respond to any urgent messages, any urgent emails that have popped up overnight, deal with any problems, touch base with the team, and then get the content done that I need to get done for the day, which goes out to the audience. And I always feel after I've done that, way better about everything. And then if I want to go out and exercise, and then if I want to go and read a book, and then if I want to go do something else, way, way, way better, right? Because there's these things that I just want to get done when I wake up over my morning coffee, and that is totally, totally okay. All right. So I think the big lesson here is just because you're being told you need to have a certain morning routine, it doesn't mean that you do. What I would rather encourage you do is find what works best for you, okay? And this lesson applies beyond just morning routines. It applies to business as well. You need to find the structure, you need to find the tactics, the strategies, the business model that fits you and fits the lifestyle that you want to build. You need to look at your calendar and go, how do I want to spend my days, right? I was on the phone a lot when I used to be in corporate. I had a phase in my business where I was on the phone a lot. And over the last 12 months, we've heavily eliminated that to the point where I only spend a couple of hours a week on Zoom now. And it's been significantly reduced. We do a lot of our selling, that 98% of our selling without any phone calls, just because it's how I didn't want to spend my time. And I didn't want to manage a big team of people on the phone. May that change in the future? Maybe. But where we're taking everything now, I didn't want that. And there's usually always a way to make it work, right? There's not one hard and fast path, and that's the only thing that works. It's another big problem with kind of how stuff gets marketed, is that, this is the only way that you can do things. And it's just a marketing hook. There's tons of different ways that you can do things, and you need to find the one that's really congruent with you, really congruent with the direction that you're heading in, really congruent with the goals that you want to achieve, both financially and in terms of time and energy, and how you want to spend your day and the people you want to spend it with, and how many people you want in your organization, and all of those kind of things. Okay. And I think that first hour of the day, that morning routine, where especially in the personal development world, there's so many people ramming down your throat that you've got to have this perfect morning routine and you've got to do these 85 things. Every time I've tried to overcomplicate it, I hate it. I hate it. All I want to do is get my coffee, get in the office, or maybe even grab my laptop and sit out on the balcony. But I just want to get in, check on things, create my content, because that is such a big thing that moves the needle forward in the business, and get that done. Then after that, we can look at other things. But that's how I want to start my day. And it's a simple thing, but it's been pretty liberating for me, going, fuck it, I don't have to do all this stuff that people are telling me to do. I can just get into it, right? So I'd encourage you to look at that. And if you're trying to manufacture this like perfect morning routine, and you've got this internal calling that's just saying, get to work, that's totally cool. You can do it. I'd encourage you to. You're going to get some really good stuff done in that early part of the day, and then it's off your plate and you can crack on with the day. Okay, that's my 2 cents on the morning routine thing. I just haven't made the list of 15 things to do when you wake up work for me. I just want to grab my coffee and get into it. So maybe give that a go. If you've been struggling with figuring out your perfect morning routine, maybe you just need to grab coffee, tea, whatever it is, and get into work. You might find that works for you, and you might find that it's very profitable and very productive. Okay, hope you drew something out of this video. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel, join the private community, all that kind of good stuff, and I will talk to you all soon. Cheers.